This is Art Talk with April, an artist podcast where we meet artists from all around the southeastern states. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Art Talk with April. Today we have Raven Mobley, and she is a jack of all trades artist. We had a little conversation about all the things she does, and I'm like, what do you want me to say to people? Jack of all trades. So thank you for talking. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm not familiar, but where are you located at?
I live in Decatur, Alabama.
Okay.
I kind of work out of my home studio. I've got a website and I go to festivals and art markets and fairs kind of all over North Alabama. And that's kind of where I work and do. But I'm originally from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how did you get started in making art? Was it something you did when you were little, or what started you off?
It was. So, and I mean, I know this is a really cliche thing, but I can't remember when I wasn't creating or doodling or doing stuff. But like my dad would always make fun of me when I got like a brand new pack of notebook paper. He was like, "Hey, so let's not go through all that this week. That'd be great." It was that kind of thing. And I think the first art show I was in, I was 8, and it was one of those all county school art shows, and I made a wooden sculpture. It was like a spiral staircase, and which is ironic because I don't do any kind of sculpturing or 3D stuff now because the patience there is just not, I have not that. So I think I've always just been a little artist, and I don't think I got really serious about it until high school. I had a fantastic high school teacher. His name was Jason Powers, and I nicknamed him Punk Master P. It was the 90s, so you know.
Sounds appropriate.
Yeah, and he was a phenomenal art teacher, and he really encouraged me to continue doing my art and work on it and maybe go into something with art. And he's a principal now at a high school in Myrtle Beach. So he was one of my driving forces for actually doing something. Before that, I wanted to be a vet, and I'm so glad because I can't see any animal in pain. So that would be a very poor choice. And why I have 4 massive dogs now. So yeah. It's a good choice.
I'm more of a pet owner than a vet.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. And then when I started college, I was studying to be an art teacher because at Coastal Carolina at the time, if you were getting an art studio degree, they were really pushing you towards to teach. It was either that or graphic design.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't going to be a graphic designer because one, I knew I didn't want to be in front of a computer. And I just, because I have to have hands on, like I have to be in it. And I give high props to all the graphic designers, you as well, because I couldn't, I could not, my attention span would have been gone. So I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And I did the practicums, and I was going to do high school art. And then after my second practicum, I was like, you know what? This is not my patience level. It's not there. So just moved on to be an artist and work in a gallery, really. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you would be surprised to know that I taught school for 1 year, and I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school for that. They hired me based on I was a practicing graphic designer. And if you had so many years in the field, then you could teach public school in Alabama, and then you would take like 4 classes and you would have your education degree.
I think it's like the certificate, the education.
Yeah, like a certificate thing, but just because you were, in the actual field, I guess. And that I didn't.
It's like I knew my patience level, and high school students were not it.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. And I myself, I had a really great high school teacher as well. And I mean, just remarkable as far as art, and just a really fantastic art teacher and just really engaged the kids and, like really
Yeah,
engaged me and I'm like, I'm still doing art today,
yeah,
And so it's amazing when you can do it.
it is. I mean, and it's kind of funny because when we moved to Alabama, I was a preschool teacher for 4 years
Oh,
and
wow.
loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. I was like, there's my patience level.
Yeah.
The little ones, that's where I can go. And it was phenomenal. And then I became a substitute teacher when my kids got a little bit older.
Mm.
And I liked being the substitute. And then 2020 hit and COVID and all that. And we switched to digital learning.
Mm.
And that's kind of when I was like, you know what? I think it's time to start being a professional artist. And I go like air quotes from the professional because I'm like, I still don't really see myself as a
Oh,
professional artist. So I'm just doing what I like.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what we're all doing, whether you consider yourself a professional or not. It's just like, I think in order to keep doing it and to keep going at it into adulthood and on, it's just passion. You love it.
And I mean, I think it really got to a point at 2020 where I was like, I just want to do what I love
Mm.
and what makes me happy. And
Yeah.
being at home and being able to do what I do and my kids being homeschooled now, it works out so phenomenally.
Oh,
And my
yeah.
husband is a rock star because he's an aerospace engineer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And without him, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Yeah.
So God bless him.
Yeah,
He's
that's awesome. That's
just polar
fantastic.
opposites.
Yeah,
God
that's
bless.
like me and my husband. He works at UAB in the science lab, and I'm like, "Ew, no,
Yeah,
I couldn't do that." He's like talking to me about science, and I'm like already asleep.
that's how it is with the rockets.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, but you know what? We learn something new about each other every day.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Oh, that's fun. So, what are your favorite mediums that you use? I know you have multiple, so.
I do. I mainly work with acrylics. So anytime I paint on canvas or wood or even canvas, paper, anything, I work with acrylics.
Mm,
So that's, I guess, my main love. I know how to
yeah.
work with oil paints. I don't have the patience to work with oil
Mm,
paints, but I also like to use different mediums like watercolor because I
mm,
learned how to do watercolor before I learned how to paint. So a lot of the techniques you would use in watercolor, I use with acrylics.
yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference because there's a
Mm,
lot of techniques and stuff that you use in watercolor, like wet on wet and the
mm.
blending techniques that you can do that don't necessarily can be used with acrylic, but I make it work anyway. And I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I also love paint markers, acrylic paint markers, and Prismacolor pencils is another one of my go tos. And just ink, doing kind of ink work and the mandalas. I like to sketch them out. It kind of zones me in, makes me focus a little bit when you're just hyper focused on that stuff. So
Yeah.
when I say I'm a jack of all trades, I really am. I kind of like to work all over, everywhere. And if it stands still long enough, I'm going to paint it. It's no getting around that.
So,
Mm-mm.
like, what are your main, like, do you have sort of a main subject matter that you kind of steer towards, or you kind of go around and try a little bit of everything?
I really gravitate towards really bright colors. I love color
Yeah.
and I love movement. So I like to
Mhm.
draw and paint dancers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just flowing kind of splats and water and ribbons and just I love the movement. I'm not a really harsh angle person. I just cuz
Mm.
and the color really, if I see something and I'm like, you know what, that would look phenomenal, like in fuchsia. So
Yeah.
and that always kind of drove my teachers in college crazy
Mm.
because they're like, well, we're trying to teach you the techniques and stuff, and it was kind of all dark and gloom and moody and deep, and I'm like, nah, I'm not that,
Yeah.
no. And I
I
was
could
like, I
see
have
that.
to it's got to be bright and in your face and bring you joy, and that's how I feel. And
Yeah.
but I do. I mean, it's not saying that I don't do paintings that are kind of like the emotional deep, but that's more of my personal. That's never going to see the light of day. And I think every artist has that kind of stash,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's kind of like putting your diary out for public viewing. And so
sure.
I'm going to keep that to myself. Nobody needs to see that. Just keep it bright, light, and happy. That's what I like to say.
That's interesting that you say that because I think you're right, but I think some people do show that. And then it makes you wonder, like the people who are like, you know, maybe they're doing some kind of emotional surrealism, deep meaning something, and they're showing that. Do they have like this colorful, lighter, fun, loose stuff in the that they've hidden
Yeah.
in their closet?
That's a right there. Cause I'm like, you know
I
what?
bet you they do. I
So yeah,
bet you that's their little secret.
we've got all this deep stuff out there. We can't just change it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. That's really good. Yeah.
I bet they do because I kind of do that a little bit. I kind of feel like when I'm doing more like cheerful, happy, like I do a little bit of children's illustration and stuff, that maybe I do a little like darker, weirder sketches. But then
Yeah.
if I'm doing darker, weirder stuff, then I'm doing little flowers and stuff in
Yeah.
the background. I don't know. It's kind of like balance.
It is a little bit of a balance. I do the personal paintings and
So
I
you do
think
actual paintings
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
doing that. Okay.
Yeah. And it just kind of comes on the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
And whatever I'm feeling, I'm like, yeah, I want to get this out in a healthier way than say yelling at everybody who's causing those. And it just works out so much better for
Yeah.
everyone. I'm like, if y'all just leave me alone for a few minutes, yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
works out for everybody. But I generally, it has been said that my art is very light, bright, and happy, a little
Mhm.
whimsical, a little weird, a lot of fun. That's
Yeah, I could see all of that. Like looking at your website and your shop and everything, I'm like, wow, okay. Movement, color, the splashes and everything. I get it. That is exactly what you're doing.
yeah, I'll try. Yeah, it's my goal to I mean that's the reason why I called my website For Love of Art
Yeah.
because I'm not doing it for the love of money. I'm definitely doing it for the love of just creating. And I really enjoy watching people when they see my art and all the
Yeah.
colors, and it just makes them smile. And a lot of the times they're thinking, you know what, this reminds me of that time when this happened and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I love those reactions. And that's, I think,
Yeah.
what really drives me. So,
That's
yeah, that's,
awesome. And when you're talking about that, it makes me so you said that you're doing like, art shows, I guess with a like tent table kind of thing.
yeah.
And are you traveling to do that or kind of staying in your area? Like how are you doing that?
So I got into doing art festivals and markets and fairs when my husband and I had just gotten married and we were living in Washington State. We're in the Seattle area.
Oh,
And that was my first, like, I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a
yeah.
professional artist. I'm going to do this. And so my husband and I, we did the fairs and the festivals. And I found that I absolutely love traveling all over Washington State. And I
Yeah.
loved art festivals and fairs. And when we got here, I just wanted to continue doing that. And I
Mhm.
mean, I could maybe do a brick and mortar studio, but
Mm.
I love going all over North Alabama. And
Yeah.
we've done some in Central Alabama, but I love meeting different people and going to different places. And I'm not from Alabama. So when we go to festivals that are, say, in Arab, I'm like, all right, new place. I've
Yeah.
never been there. So it's new to me.
Yeah.
And I really
Fun.
enjoy meeting all the people and seeing just different areas and getting to know kind of like through these festivals and markets, just the different, I guess, environment that you're walking into
Yeah,
because each
true.
one is different. And
Definitely.
it's fun for me. It's not easy to pack up and set up and take down
Yeah.
every time, but I love it. It gives
Yeah.
me something to work forward to and to just be with and just see the reactions of everybody who are
Yeah.
seeing all the parts and seeing all the different artists too blows my mind, because I'll see
Yeah.
some artists, I'm like, I will never be able to do that, and it blows my mind. And I just it's a lot of joy for me to do
Yeah.
these. But yeah, we tend to stick to North Alabama because we're in Decatur.
Yeah.
I have been invited to do a couple things in South Carolina, and it would
Okay.
be just a massive dream come true for me to do a big art festival
Yeah.
in South Carolina. There's one that I'm looking forward to applying to, and it's at the Adelaide Castle at Huntington State Beach Park. Anyways,
Oh.
and that's where I'm from. So I would just absolutely love to kind of do a full circle moment
Yeah, that's
there.
fun. That sounds
So
like a really cool place too.
it is. It's amazing. Huntington Beach. It's across the street from Brook Green Gardens, and it's like all the stats, kind of like what the Huntsville Botanical Gardens are, but
Yeah.
think massive. It's
Yeah.
acres and acres. I highly recommend it. Anybody, you should check it out. It's phenomenal. One of my favorite places.
That's awesome. I tried doing that. I tried doing the festival thing and I just had I don't know, I didn't do it enough. I know I didn't. I did it like only a few times and I had a really bad experience that made me just
Oh,
exhausted. It was just bad weather, bad
yeah.
timing, bad spot. It was just like every little thing that you could check off to like not quite go right. And then it was like, okay, now I'm exhausted and I'm supposed to be friendly and like be ready to talk to people. And I was just like, we were freezing. I was like, hi, you know.
Yeah, and you learn because
Yeah, I
I've
bet
been
you
there,
do.
done that, and that's why we pack every time we go. It doesn't matter if the weather report is like, "Hey, it's going to be sunny and 80 all day long." I'm like, I'm bringing my sides, I'm bringing my blankets, I'm bringing my coats, I'm bringing everything just in case.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple times where the weatherman lied, and so I was very happy.
Yeah. I mean, like, you see these artists that go to these things and their whole setup gets blown down or something. And it's
Oh yeah.
like, I don't know what I would do if that happened, because I don't know if people realize how much like time and energy and money you put into it
Yeah,
to
there
lose
there
it.
was there was one, and it's the Scottsboro Art in the Park, and I
Mhm.
think it's like the first Saturday of September. I'm probably way
Mhm.
wrong on that, but it was in Scottsboro, and I was doing it one year, and a thunderstorm had been predicted, and this is a rain or shine, no
Yeah,
cancellation thing.
of course.
Yeah, and we get there, and we knew the weather was going to be bad, but
Mhm.
like, we're here, let's do it. And I had set up, and then the rain started, and it was like biblical downpour, and it flooded out our tent. It damaged about $400 worth of artwork, and
Goodness.
I wasn't alone. And it was like 30 minutes after opening, they were like, "Hey, so you know what? We are going to cancel." And I was like, "Why are you
Oh.
doing this now?" So yeah, those moments are hard, and it's hard to bounce
Mhm.
back from those, and that can be a little tiring. But I know now to not like the area to go, and I'm better prepared, I think. And if
Yeah, yeah,
there's hint of a thunderstorm, I'm like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna be able to do this one. I'm
yeah,
sorry. So
yeah.
I still have nightmares. I mean, I had paintings floating in the puddles. So
Wow. Oh
it
my
was bad.
gosh.
But you just got to bounce back and put a smile on
Yeah.
your face.
Well,
And
so what is some advice that you would give to artists who are looking to do that? Like, what are some of the things that you've learned along the way as far as doing markets and festival stuff?
I definitely recommend, I try doing one a month. I have done one, so in the holiday season, I do one every weekend almost.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of work. You definitely have to have enough inventory artwork to fill your space for the time that you're there. But I would definitely, my biggest advice would be is just plan for everything. Even if you think something is not going to happen, plan for it.
Yeah.
The rain, wind, sun, because you might be in a spot where you don't have any shade.
Wow.
So bring sides to the tents, and just try to be positive the whole time,
Yeah.
because you will get people in your tent that are amazing and they love your stuff and they want to sit and they want to talk and it's great. But you'll also get the people who come into your tent who are like, well, I can do that. Just brush it off
Yeah.
and just keep positive, and look for the fun. Look for the fun in it. Because if you go into it negative, and if you go into it expecting it to, this is going to be a long day, then you're not gonna want to do it. And
Yeah.
the biggest piece, just stay positive and be prepared. That's
Yeah.
the best I can tell.
Yeah, that's some good advice there. Because I think that too was always one of the things that kind of kept me from moving forward and doing that is the people coming in the tent and like saying stuff. I
Yeah.
didn't want them to say the wrong thing and me be like hurt for a long time because of something someone says. Because I don't know that. I think I was talking to another artist about this, but at festivals, a lot of times people are just coming for entertainment, not necessarily to like buy. And part of that entertainment is walking around talking with your friends about the stuff,
Yep.
and you don't necessarily recognize the person sitting behind the table as really being there and that
Yep.
you're talking in front of them.
There's been a few. My friend Mary likes to joke because like every time I leave a festival, I'm like, I'm gonna write a book and it's gonna be the etiquette of art fairs. And I'm gonna do it. It does get a little discouraging when somebody comes into your tent and says, like, well, I can do that. Or, well, this person over there has got this for way less. And you can't take it personal. And
Yeah.
every time I'm in a situation like that, one of my professors at Coastal, her name was Elizabeth Keller, another amazing artist.
Yeah.
She gave us a few tidbits of advice. She said, one, and she's like, I can't stress this enough, don't get emotionally attached to your artwork, because don't bring sentiment into it. Just because what you feel for something that you've created doesn't necessarily communicate to the viewer.
Yeah.
You might feel a really strong connection to what you've done and you feel good about it. And you're like, I put my A job out there,
Yeah.
and somebody else might just be like, yeah, that's pretty, and walk off. And you
Mm.
can't take that to heart.
Yeah.
And you've got to be willing to let it go. And that's probably one of the biggest advices that I take to heart every time I do a piece. Cause I'm like, yep, I love doing this. I like this piece I'm creating. I like what I'm putting on the canvas. And then when I show it, I have to be willing to accept that somebody might come up and go, that's not for me. So
Mhm.
it's that. And the other tidbit that she told us, that something is that I live by, is the 3-second rule. She said, on average, when somebody comes into a gallery, a museum, whatever, they will look at a piece of art for 3 seconds and then walk away. And it's our job as the artist to make them stay longer than the 3 seconds. You have to give them something to engage in to keep that 3-second rule from not happening. And that's the only way you'll get noticed. And so that's the other little tidbit that I've
Interesting.
taken to heart. And I'm like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That is so interesting. And what I'm like, what did she follow up with ways to do that? To like keep interest?
She was one of the very few professors I had who was like, look, I'm going to teach you the technique and the skills of what I do, but I want you to do what you want to do. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to teach you my art. I want you to find your art.
Yeah.
And she said, you need to put emotion into your piece. You need to bring it out and make sure that your viewer sees what you're trying to do. Don't just put like a pretty image on a canvas, because that's not going to do it. But she's like, don't put something out there that you hate, because
Mm.
if you don't like it and if you hate it, the viewer is going to feel that, and they're going to be like, yeah, okay, and we're going to move on. But if they see a piece where you enjoyed yourself painting it, creating it, you fell in love with it, you're like, okay, this represents me and my art,
Mm.
they're going to see that, and they're going to want to stay there and kind of look at it and kind of figure it out. But she was also like, and don't forget about the details. Put the
Mm.
details in there. Make people come up closer and study it a bit closer. So
Mm.
just little things that I took, and I definitely am about the details. There's quite a few paintings where I do one thing and there's a hidden image in it that I
Oh,
like to like people come up, and I love that moment when they're like, "Oh, I see it now." It's a great
that's
moment.
awesome. Yeah. I think people appreciate that kind of thing and they can, it almost becomes like a conversation piece that they have in their house, and they're like, do you see something? Or, I don't know if anybody comments on it or whatever. What do you see that? It's a
Yeah,
thing.
and I've done quite a few pieces. Like I've recently gotten into doing palette paintings where I
Mm,
take a canvas board, just those flat canvases that you can get in packs, and I'll use it
mm,
as a palette when I'm working on another painting. And then
mm,
when I'm done with it, I'll just smear the paint. It's kind of like a Rorschach to see what do I see in this stuff. And then I kind of
mm.
bring that image to the surface and I put it on a bigger canvas. And I've come up with some pretty interesting ones. My favorite one I did was Soul Sister, and it was this woman in her profile, and just she's really powerful, is what I felt
Yeah.
when I saw it. And I had a lady who bought it, and she said, "Oh my God, I really love this." She's like, "I'm doing my room and some strong, just powerful woman vibes." And she's like, "I got to get it because I'm
Yeah.
loving it." I was like, "Well, thank you," because that's what I was going for. But the
Yeah.
palette paintings is it's just, let's see where it goes. What do you see? And let's just do that.
Now, is that something that you came up with, or you saw other people doing it, or the palette painting?
No, it's kind of funny because I had a whole stack of those canvas boards and I didn't know what to do with them.
Oh,
So I was like, well, let's just use it as some palettes because I ran out of palette paper. So I was like, let's give it a go. And so I did. And when I was done, I was just playing with the paint on the canvas board. And I was like, you know what? That kind of looks like a lady in water. So that's what I made it into be. And it's
wow.
just, I'm sure other artists do it. I don't think
I
I'm
do, but I've never
revolutionary.
heard of that before. That's why I was wondering. And it's kind of conservative too, as far as like your paint, like using the paint that you would normally
Yeah.
just have on your palette and making something out of that.
Yep.
That's cool. I like that.
They do take a while. They do take a while to do. I'm working on one now that I've been working on, I think, for like a month because I just keep adding stuff to it. And there's an
Yeah.
image coming forth, but I'm trying to work with a little bit. So just
Yeah.
patience. That's what
Oh,
y'all
what
are.
a challenge. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So, do you work in smaller sizes or bigger sizes? Like what is your range?
I typically work in small. So my canvas paintings, I think the largest that I've done is one of those, I think it's like a 2 foot by 3 foot
Mm-hmm.
landscape. But I typically work smaller just because, and this is my ADD coming into play. I don't think I have the attention span to do really big pieces. I've done
Mm-hmm.
them. It takes me a long time because I'll
Yeah.
start on it and I get really focused, hyper focused on it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm feeling it. And then about 2 days later, I'm like, nah, I'm okay now. And it takes a while. So I just kind of stick to the smaller
Mm.
pieces, but I do larger canvases, just not massive ones. And I would make a horrible muralist, just horrible. Could not do it.
I don't know how people do that.
I don't know. I've got a friend who does them and she's amazing. And I'm like, girl, I could
Yeah.
not ever.
I think that you have to be a special, it's like the festival market thing, you have to be kind of a special person and really enjoy that process and that environment in order to do it. Because I mean, could you imagine, like, getting up on ladders or, worrying about what kind of weather there's going to be in the middle of your painting, like,
No, I couldn't do it. I'm the kind of person who's scared of like the nosebleed sections
yeah, me
at
too.
sports.
Yeah,
You're not seeing me up on a ladder. No,
I know.
ma'am.
Or one of those lift things. I'm like,
That's
nope,
a hard no for
I would
me.
not. be able
That's the
to.
hardest a no is ever knowed. I'm not doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Oh, that's fascinating.
Yep.
So let's see, what do I want to think about next? So, what have been some of the challenges as far as being an artist and your art journey and everything? Have you come across things where you're like, I don't know if I can do this, or you know?
There's definitely so when I was in Washington and we were doing the festival circuit and stuff, and then I had babies.
Yeah.
And that I think is the biggest difficult because you can't really have a baby and do the festivals and stuff, or
Oh
that baby's
yeah.
with you, and then it makes it pretty impossible.
Yeah.
And I tried that for a little while after my daughter was born. She's 17 now, and it's hard. So I
Mm.
told my husband, I was like, "Hey, I think we need to just kind of pump the brakes on this a little bit. Let me take a break." And I mean, I didn't stop creating. I would do commissions for people, and I
Sure.
would do personal art pieces, and I did a couple art shows, and I did little things, but I never did the festival circuit until we got to Alabama. And because my kids were getting older,
Yeah.
I had the time.
Different.
2020 happened, and
Mhm.
I was like, I think I want to do it again. I want to get back into it. But it's also getting over the fear. Am I going to be good enough? Because like I said, there's artists that I see and I'm like, I could never do that.
Mhm.
And you have to get over that mental obstacle of
Yeah.
and I have to keep reminding myself that it's fun. This is fun. It's not that serious. We're just creating what we feel.
Yeah.
And I kind of just go with that. And I'm also a big believer of artists are always learning. We're
Oh,
never at our
yeah.
peak ever because we're
Absolutely.
always learning. If you look at my stuff that I did in college, it is trash compared to what I do now. And if you look at what I do now compared to what I will be doing in like 10 years, this
Sure.
will probably be trash. I hope I improve anyways.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that's another difficulty that just as a whole as artists that we have to get over is
Yeah.
can I do this?
Yeah.
And that's yeah, so just trying to take that long break and then jumping back into it.
It's kinda like, "Okay, do I still have it? Do can I do
Yeah,
it?"
and it's also like, I don't know if anybody would want my art.
Mm.
So, you have to get over that too. And I keep remembering so what kinda also inspires me to continue doing the fairs and the art festivals and art markets is I had a lady who bought a piece for me, when I had just started in Washington, and at that time, I was doing furniture
Oh,
and
wow.
functional art, like knife
Yeah.
blocks, pencil cups, anything I
Sure.
could get a hold of, because Goodwill was my friend. We would find
Yeah.
something, I would refurbish it because we were broke as a joke,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
whatever I could get my hands on, it was getting painted, and I did this pencil cup, and it was pink, and it had horses and flowers all over it.
Mhm.
And a lady came into my booth and she saw it and she was talking. She was like, I really like the colors in the horses. And she said, my mom loved horses. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, that's wonderful. I was like, is she got a farm? She got a ranch? And she said, well, unfortunately, my mother passed away recently. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I was wrapping up another purchase for someone who came up and we got to talking and she was kind of talking about her mom and the gift wrap and stuff and then she's like, well, I'm going to continue looking. She's like, but I'll be back. And you hear that a lot. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'll be here.
Yeah.
And she came back about 15 minutes later and she
Mm.
said, you know what? I'm going to get it. I was like, okay. And I was getting it. I was wrapping it. And she said, you don't have to do all the gift wrap. And I was like, oh no, I have to because this is like a present to yourself. And I want you to feel like, you know what? I just wanted to gift myself, just spoil myself for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she said, well, thank you. And
Yeah.
then the whole day went, and then I got home and she had called and left a message on my answering machine because this was back in the day when those
Yeah.
existed. And she left a message. And unfortunately, I can't remember her name. And I wish I
Mhm.
could. But like I said, my brain's like Swiss cheese. And she left a message. She said, I just wanted to tell you that the piece that I bought today reminded me so much of my mom that it lifted my spirits because I've been in such a funk because she had just
Oh,
passed away 2 weeks ago.
oh my goodness.
Said, and I want you to continue doing what you do because you bring people joy. And I wanted to let you know.
Oh
And
wow.
so that's one of the things that I think of when
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see it. But I think of her and I'm like, maybe I can bring somebody a little bit of joy and light
Yeah.
to whatever they're feeling at the moment. And so that's something, just a shining moment that I kind of think about all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. Holy cow. I try to do things like that every once in a while too, and just like speak life into another artist because it just means so much. And we're trying to like we're kind of putting ourselves out there and our heart out there, and we enjoy what we do. And for someone to say, "Hey, this is really awesome. You're doing a great job." It feels like okay, it kind of gives you this little bump to where you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And
Yeah,
it's just the little things.
it is. And I'm the kind of artist where I'm like, you know what? In the beginning of my career, I was trying to get into art shows and art
Mhm.
galleries and all that because coming from college, I was in quite a few art shows and I had a couple pieces at the Columbia Museum of Art. They were doing a
Oh,
Victorian expo. And at that time, I was hyper focused on Victorian art and ladies in
yeah.
the dresses. Not now. I don't know why I was then. But anyways, so, you come out of college and you're getting off of this really big high, been all of these shows, been all this, and then you start your career. And I was trying to do it and get in the shows, and I realized, you know what? I'm not a fine artist at all, and that's what they're looking for. And I
Mhm.
think now I've reached the period of my career where I'm like, you know what? I don't have to be in art shows and galleries
Yeah.
to bring out what I'm doing. I don't
Mhm.
think it's if I'm in an art show or something, that's just a bonus. That's like icing
Mhm.
on the cake of what I do. I'm like, thank you for wanting my art in your show. I appreciate it and grateful.
Yeah.
And I think I'm comfortable at where I am right now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that. Yeah.
I think a lot, yeah, that's really great. I think we all, I don't know, I feel that way too. So it makes me want to say that a lot of people might feel that way. Like after you've been doing it a while, your
Yeah.
goal changes and you get more comfortable with where you're really supposed to be, where
Yeah.
you really fit and you really make a difference versus trying for that big, museum quality art
I mean, it
thing.
feels really good. It does, but I'm like, I don't think that's the end game.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
really.
Not for
And
everybody. And there's so
yeah,
many different end games in the creative field, like you could do so many different things and feel successful and feel good about it and love it and be happy
yeah.
and give happiness, without it being that one thing.
And I feel like every artist starting their career, they're like really gun ho about
Oh,
getting
yeah,
out there
yeah.
and being noticed and in the shows and all that. And I'm like,
I don't want to be published or whatever the thing is. And you're like, why not me?
and you can't let that feeling get you down. If you're That's another little tidbit I could probably put in there. Like artists, don't get discouraged if you get rejected for something. You will get some brutal rejections too.
Mm,
I applied for one art show and the critique came back because it was a juried one and the
yeah,
critique came back and I'm laughing about it now because I've done several festivals here in Decatur and it was in Decatur. The critique came back and it said, "We just don't think you fit in here and you won't do well." And so it kind of blew me for a loop.
interesting.
And you can't take rejections like that personal. Just
Yeah,
brush them off and keep going. And I do fit in pretty well. I just didn't fit in well to that.
yeah,
You got to find your niche.
yeah,
And I didn't fit in with the fine art festival that was, but I fit in with, say, like Astara, which
yeah,
is a pagan druid festival, and I
yeah,
fit in great with that. That's my aesthetic. That's my niche. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So just if you get, yeah, that's my biggest other thing. If you get a rejection and it will be brutal. Just brush it off and keep going. Just
Yeah.
do what you're doing.
And not, not all festivals and markets, like you're saying, are gonna be the same because, like, there's one around the corner from my neighborhood, and I know that that festival is like high-end interior decorator kind of stuff. And that's not my art, like
Yeah,
I know I don't fit there. So if I applied there and like paid a fee or something, it would be a waste you
yeah,
know? And
yeah.
they would definitely come back and say no, because it wouldn't, I know already that's not me.
I mean,
But
it's
that
something.
doesn't mean that I'm not good enough or whatever. It just
Yeah,
means I'm not supposed to be there. I need to be
yeah.
somewhere else.
And I mean, and I've gotten way more than that one rejection in
Sure,
the
sure.
whole entirety of my professional artist career.
Yeah.
So I've lost
You have
count.
got to stop doing that.
I'm sorry. It's the air quotes.
Yeah,
It's a habit. So
it
sorry.
is.
It's really hard for me to call myself a professional artist. And I don't know why, but it just
Yeah.
is.
A lot of
It
people feel that way though, but you definitely are. I would say
Thank
that you
you.
are. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's hard to like. I can't believe people are paying me to do what I love, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's the catch is because it's like, oh, you have a job, you have to hate that job to make a living, and so
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a belief, but I get to do what I love, and people want to pay me money to do it. Like one of the biggest things that I love is doing commissions,
Oh yeah.
and I
What
don't
kind of
care.
commissions do you do? I mean, like,
I've done some pet portraits. Those are
okay.
fun. I
Yeah.
like doing pet portraits just because I love my dogs
Yeah.
and I love your
The
dog.
veterinary part of me.
Like I'm gonna be the woman who died petting something that I shouldn't have.
Oh no.
I made peace with it.
Yeah.
But I love it because whoever is commissioning you to do these pet portraits, they're asking you to put a memory on canvas. And to them, it means a lot.
Yeah.
This is not their pets, this is their children.
Yeah.
And I did one for a customer this Christmas, and her mom, the sister-in-laws got together to do it for the mother-in-law, and it was
Yeah.
her two dogs and it was Bunny and Bandit. That's I'll
Uh,
never forget. And it was they're little dogs. And so she had two pictures and she's like, I want you to put them together. And she said the mother-in-law had two other dogs and pet portraits and they had passed. And so she wanted to get pet portraits of her dogs that she had now. And she gave it to her for Christmas. And she said she absolutely loved it. It was tears and
oh.
joyfulness. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just so happy that I got to be a little part in that moment.
Yeah.
And I also get a commission request for, I guess you can call them memory paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like make a memory out of something that didn't happen, but you wanted it to happen that way, like a proposal wedding picture that he wanted a
Oh.
portrait of them in their wedding, like the first dance, but on a lighthouse, which is where he proposed. And so I was able to put it all together for him and they absolutely loved it. And that makes me so happy that I
Yeah.
could give them what they wanted of something that never happened. And one other commission I did for kind of like a memory, it was for her partner, and it was a lady who was getting it done for her partner. And she said her brother had recently passed. And so she wanted to get a painting with all these little memories all over the canvas and their silhouettes walking down this trail. And so I was like, all right, give me as much as you can remember.
Yeah.
Every and this is where the details come in. And
Sure.
it was just little details. It was things like they lived in New York for a time. There was a lake with a boat they would go fishing on and a I mean, little things. And so I made the scene
Mm-hmm.
and all the little things, and I put the musical heart and it was so detailed and I absolutely loved it. And she gave it to her partner as an anniversary present. And she said, I think she cried for like 30 minutes.
Oh
And
my
it just
goodness.
brought her so much joy. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm really glad that I could help preserve that for her.
Yeah.
And so doing commissions is something that I absolutely love doing for people. And
That's
I'm the
awesome.
artist where I'm going to work with you
Mhm.
no matter what. So like if you want it, because you're paying me to do this, I want to make it
Yeah.
perfect for you. And I'm a little bit of an oversharer with this. Like every time I do anything, every single day, I'm like, I'm going to send you a picture and an email about what I've done today.
Yeah.
You tell me if you like it, if you don't like it, and we're going to work on it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're paying me a lot of money to do this for you. I want to
Mhm.
make it perfect. And
That's
I
awesome.
love that aspect of what I do, of that part of my job.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Professional artist. You are
Yeah.
a professional artist. Come
Thank you.
on. Oh my gosh. Even taking commissions. So like can people, I guess you have a nice website. Do people shop on there and get
They
commissions through
do.
there? Or
They
how would people
do.
get in touch to do that?
So I have multiple ways. I'm pretty easy to get a hold to, I think. Like email, there's a
Mhm.
form on my website you can fill out a contact.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. That's my little dog that just sounds like a tornado siren. Her name is Honey Badger for good reason. We don't know what she is. We just call her a gremlin. Sorry.
no, you're
But yeah,
fine.
sorry. So I have a contact form on my website you can fill out. You can email me on my social. You can Facebook message me. You can call. I'm not one of those people who are going to ignore a call. If I don't get your call, just leave a message and I'll get right back to you. So there's multiple ways to get to me. I'm pretty easy to find to get a hold to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I love that. And the way that you described like the memory painting thing, that's a great way to put that as far as like people giving you these, bits of experience or something that they wanted to happen and you're putting it all together and that's really cool. I like that.
It's I just that's one of the parts that I absolutely love. I love it when
Mm.
people come to me to want to do a commission
Mm.
and I can do that for them.
Now, do you do like the acrylic or watercolor or do you let people choose what
I
medium?
let them choose. I'm like, if you want a certain aesthetic, if you want it to
Mm.
look a certain way, I'll say, okay, well, if you want a watercolor, let's do it watercolor. I can do a
Yeah.
watercolor or I can do Prismacolors because you can make
Mhm.
Prismacolors look very watercolor-ish.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
And I try to kind of want to do that one more than watercolors because watercolors will fade. You can't put them in certain lights. You got to take care of them. Prismacolors, not so much. But if
Mhm.
they want a painting, then I'm like, okay, I can do acrylic. I can do paint markers. There's multiple things that I can do. But like I said, I don't offer oil. So, because I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I can recommend an oil painter. I was like, but that's
Yeah.
that's not me. I don't have the patience because it takes forever and a day for it to dry, and I just
Sure.
cannot.
Yeah.
So, but I
That's
give them
awesome.
the option of like, what are you looking for? And I will try to meet that for you.
Okay.
So, because
Well, how
again,
do you do like are you I guess you're offering different sizes and pricing based on like how are you coming up with your pricing just out of curiosity?
so I have been told that I'm atrociously horrible at pricing.
Oh.
Just like I've been told you need to charge more for this, but I'm like, well, I want to charge it to where everybody can get it. You shouldn't have to make the decision of, and should I eat this week or get this painting? You shouldn't have to make that
Um,
decision. So when somebody comes to me for a commission with an idea, and I'm like, okay, so what are you looking for?
mm,
What are you wanting in it? And I'll say, okay, may I suggest this size? Because it'll
mm,
get all of this in there for you,
yeah.
and I can do it for this price. And I'm calculating the materials,
Mm,
the canvas, the finishing, the varnish, the sealant, all that good fun stuff, and the time. And it's kind of all calculated in there.
mm,
And I do my very best to make the commissions affordable. And it's a fine line, I think. It's a hard one for all
yeah.
artists to come up with the pricing. But I'm like, I want to do this for you and I want you to be able to not regret spending the money.
Yeah.
because it's that expensive. Because I
Yeah.
think we've all been in the situation where we've got something we really like, but we just spent an arm and a leg on it. And so we kind of hate it a little bit. And I
Yeah.
don't work for people at all.
Yeah.
But I have been told that I'm atrocious at
Oh,
pricing things because yeah, like I said, my friend Mary and her fiance Jeff is like, you should definitely charge more. I'm like, I feel bad. I felt really bad. I do these little mini arts and they come with a little canvas
yeah.
and they were 6, but then the materials to get them went up. So I had to up the price to $10. And I say to I'm like, I'm so sorry. They're $10 now. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. And my husband's like, stop apologizing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't help it.
People are like, it's inflation. I don't know.
I was like, I'm really sorry. And it's yeah, I'm that artist. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I had to charge more.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's one of the things that every once in a while I'll ask somebody about it because especially someone who is actively doing like commissions and things
Yeah.
because that means you're, working with a customer and you're trying to, create something for somebody and you've got to kind of have an idea about what you want to do. But it's hard because like you'll see like these calculators online that will be like, put
Yeah.
in your information and it'll tell you how much to charge. And it'll come up with something. And I'm like, I can't charge anybody that.
I know.
Like, that's insane.
And I think there's also the mental block for me. I'm like, I don't know if I'm worth that much.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
that part's
don't
hard
know.
too. It's interesting, and I've actually got a few artist friends where I've noticed like when they started doing markets and festivals, their price was at a certain point,
Mhm.
and then over years they might go up $5, $5, $5, and
Yeah.
now, but they're still selling and they're still successful,
Yeah.
but they, I guess, had a strategy of I'm going to make a little bit more off of this now. I've been doing
Maybe
it.
maybe I
I
should do
don't
that
know.
strategy because,
Yeah.
but and
It's not as
I
obvious, and it's not like you went from like $20 to $80 from show to show or something.
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I should go with that strategy because, like, unless the prices for the materials to do the things I do go up, I really don't. Like, I do these. So I think the lowest price thing that I have are love notes, and I came up with the idea because there's these little cards that I do, and they're laminated, and it comes with a
Yeah.
little bit of cardstock and an envelope.
Yeah.
And so they're love notes because you can either keep them for yourself or you can write a little note and give them to others.
Oh, yeah.
And I only charged $2.50 for them. And my friend was like, "You got to go up on this. You put so much time and effort." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's the little pieces that, like, if somebody really likes a painting, but they can't afford the painting, but they like my artwork and they see a little love note, they're like, I can get that. And it still brings me the same emotion and joy and love. So
Yeah.
I'll get that. And I still support the artist. And
Yeah.
so I guess that's the reasoning behind my pricing is I
Yeah.
want it to be for everybody. Like
Yeah.
I don't want you to make that decision. Should I eat or should I get art? Nobody. Like only
Yeah.
artists should make that decision, really. So
Yeah.
because we're gonna do the art. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. So, who are some of your favorite artists or people who have inspired you in your work?
Well, I'm definitely inspired by Impressionism. That's a big one for me. Van Gogh, or Van Gogh as it should be said, I guess. Um, I love his paintings
Yeah.
and love the history of his life. And he inspires me a lot. Every once in a while I'll do a piece where it's very Van Gogh inspired with the brushstrokes and the light. I did a holiday card for the Madison Holiday Card Lane,
Yeah.
and it's these massive billboard size kind of plywood. And I did a nativity scene, but it was all done in Starry Night design.
Wow.
And he's a
Awesome.
really big. I just love his work and his color and the
Yeah.
brushstrokes.
Yeah, I mean, that
And
makes sense.
yeah,
He's got a lot of movement with his strokes and the colors and everything that
and even his earlier works, like Skull with a Cigarette. or the
Oh,
potato
yeah,
eaters.
yeah. Mhm.
Love it because you would not see that work and then what he did in his later career as the
Mm.
same artist. And that just kind of proves that, we are always improving.
Thank
And I think like my biggest female artist that I love is Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
I love her stuff.
Yeah, I
Like
do too.
I can connect to a lot of her things. The one with the broken column, I'm like, "Yep, that's me. I feel that every
Yeah.
day." So, and I just I love that she just kept going, even though when people were telling her, "You're never gonna be good enough to be, you know, you're not gonna make
Yeah.
it at this," but she just kept going, and she did. So I think those 2 artists are kind of my big ones. I have some local artists that I like the muralist I was telling you about, Daria.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal, and I'm like, I give you such high, like, just all the
Yeah.
props. And another artist that inspires me has gotta be my daughter. She's a
Aw.
graphic designer in the making. She loves to do digital art, and
Okay.
she's got her own little style, and she's
Oh, that's
come
fun.
up to me and ask, she's like, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "Nah, I would do like just change this and this." And she's like, "Okay." And she's on it. And she's pretty determined and she knows what she wants to do. And I'm like, man, I wish I had that mentality when I was 17. Cause
Yeah.
she's she also has ADD and she also has ASD.
Yeah.
So it's very digital art works for her. It's
Yeah.
very black, white, no middle.
Yeah.
So and she's hyper focused on things. So
Oh, wow.
she's definitely one of my inspirations.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fun. I think, and I don't know about you, but maybe seeing you doing things like that, have kinda led her in a direction to try as well and not be scared
I
of it.
maybe I hope so, maybe a little bit. I'm glad that she's finding her own art
Yeah.
that she enjoys doing, and she
Yeah.
like I said, like the Miss Keller says, she's like, "I'm trying to teach you all the techniques and skills. I'm not trying to teach you my art.
Yeah,
I want you to
yeah.
do your art." And I love that she's gone just and ran with it.
Mhm.
And it's like she's 17 and she's on the verge of, graduating next
Yeah.
year, and she doesn't know where she wants to go, but she knows what she wants to do.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
I'm like,
That's a good place to be at 17. Oh my goodness.
I know my son, on the other hand, is very logical. He's very much like his father,
Yeah.
and God bless him, he's colorblind, like, he got hit with
Oh,
that color
no.
blindness bat so hard, and that's my fault.
Oh.
He's all about numbers and math. He has said
Oh.
being an accountant, and I'm just like, "No, couldn't."
Yeah, I had told my husband, I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to handle math homework because that's not me." And my son every once in a while will throw out like a math problem that I know I should be able to answer, but I'm just like, "No." And he thinks it's the funniest thing that I don't wanna do
Mm.
math.
No, my kids do that, and I'm like, "What does your father say?
Yeah.
What's his little feedback on this? Because 'Cause I'm the wrong
Yeah.
person to answer that question. I can do basic math, and that's it."
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my goodness, isn't that funny? Well, thank you so much for talking to me
Thank you
today.
for
It's
having
been
me.
really
This has been
fun.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Art Talk with April. New episodes are out Tuesday at 6 p.m.